Okay, let's get started. Welcome everyone to the final webinar on the Growatt series in our Growatt month, where we had total, including this one, of 4 webinars. So thank you for coming back, Zach. Looking forward to today's presentation, which will be focusing around Growatt monitoring solutions. So take it from here.
Yes, no problem. Thank you for having me back, Danny. Sorry I wasn't at the last one, but I can't wait to show you what we have in store here. I should be sharing my screen. You can see it, right, Danny?
Correct.
Excellent, excellent. So my name is Zachary Kieran. I'll give you a little bit of a rundown. I'm the product marketing manager here at Growatt. Hosted a series of 3 webinars. Happy to conclude this webinar series here with our Growatt monitoring solutions. Great. Okay. So today we're going to explain a little bit about the business focus and achievements of the Growatt organization. We're going to see the features and the possibilities of the OSS, the Shine tools, the ShinePhone, and the Shine server applications. These are our monitoring portals and our local commissioning softwares, where we're going to dive into the O&M capabilities of the OSS program and discover how to keep all Growatt products that you've installed organized and maintained while providing an excellent track record of service for your customer. And lastly, we will discuss the parameters and commissioning of the MIN inverter through the Shine Tools application. I know Franken Solar has done a really great job of putting together some YouTube videos on their channel, where they will go into depth on installation, commissioning of the inverter, and how to walk through some of these programs as well. So feel free after this webinar, go ahead, check out their YouTube channel and see a little bit more in-depth as well information regarding our inverters and equipment. So let's start to talk a little bit about who Growatt is. We provide a wide range of products and solutions, including PV inverters, batteries for energy storage, EV charging capabilities, and smart energy management. Here at Growatt, we are dedicated to the research and the development of these products, which are going to eliminate your customers' reliance on fossil fuels to power their everyday needs. Over the past 4 years, we've expanded our organization around the globe and achieved very fast growth rates with a compound annual growth rate at over 92% between 2019 and 2022. In the coming years, we expect the solar and energy storage, commercial, and residential market to absolutely flourish. And with our technological strength, we'll be able to seize those market opportunities. We have over 1.9 million cloud users, 3.1 million annual inverter production capacity, over 180 countries with our products installed, and we continue to invest in the development of the products that we offer. We have just a few major milestones here that we have achieved with our experience in this industry. We were founded in 2011 and began to quickly establish award-winning inverters and energy storage products. We even expanded into other areas of the energy storage industry with our Red Dot award-winning portable power stations. In 2021, we became the world's #1 residential inverter supplier, according to Frost & Sullivan. This growth and our achievements could not have been done without our ambitious motto and visions for the future. Again, we have attained these very prestigious accolades. We are the #1 residential inverter supplier, the global top 4 PV inverter supplier, and the global top 4 hybrid inverter supplier. We're here in this picture, we can see our booth at in Munich. I believe this was at the Inner Solar Show in Munich. We're going to port this booth over to RE Plus at our booth number 3730. We're going to have engaging speeches on our products, and you can tour each product in person and gain valuable insight into the new generation. Can't wait to see you there. Growatt has launched many great products in the US, and we will continue to develop solutions for even the most complicated energy management situations. Growatt US has launched residential solutions with our MIN inverter and the APX battery. We have Thor EV chargers for fast, intelligent charging. We have commercial application products coming into the North American market with the latest WIT and APX commercial battery. We have some off-grid solutions, backup solutions with our SYN device. And again, we even delved in now into the portable power station solutions. And I got to say, I really do like the portable power stations. They're available on our website. They're available through Amazon as well. You can just give them a little check. I actually just recently got a hold of our newest product, the 1300. I got a little chance to stress test this thing. I haven't found anything that I can't power yet, but I'm still trying. Most importantly, though, we are interested in strong partnerships to shape the future, and Franken Solar Americas is definitely one of these. So we are celebrating our exclusive partnership with Franken Solar. New milestones have been achieved in the Canadian market, and we are readily stocked and available only and exclusively from Franken Solar Americas. These products are all we achieve this growth. We achieve everything through our ambitious motto, and that is to build the world's largest intelligent, sustainable energy ecosystem for humankind. We're climbing mountains. We're providing sun power for your customers. So let's get started with the roots of this presentation. What do great monitoring solutions look like? What portals have we released to streamline the monitoring and O&M capabilities of the great products which we have just discussed? Well, a great monitoring solution is firstly marked by the insight that it gives to the end user. End users should be capable of visualizing their system performance and operating parameters. A great monitoring solution allows for easy integration and is readily available for free, creating better returns on investment. A great monitoring solution allows your team to troubleshoot a problem off-site and provides detailed errors and warnings regarding system performance, internet connectivity, and allows for third-party devices to be integrated. So let's discuss, I have a little bit of a story about an installer named Ben. Ben has been installing PV arrays for many years and has seen many solutions for inverter monitoring. But many have been clunky, providing no valuable feedback, requiring paid subscriptions, and not giving access to powerful O&M capabilities, such as RMA requests, IV curve analysis, or error code management. When Ben switches to installing the Growatt residential solution, he can now organize and manage his PV systems efficiently and quickly. He can provide his customers with their own portal credentials and manage the end user experience. Very important. He can organize and manage his PV systems efficiently and quickly. And he can check and remotely troubleshoot abnormal inverter behavior and even begin his troubleshooting of any issues that occur later on in the system life before having to roll a truck. With this kind of capability, with this type of accessibility, customers are going to be more impressed with his performance, more impressed with the service that he provides, and I expect a lot more handshaking, a lot more word of mouth business sales to be going on here. So let's begin to discuss the monitoring portals that are available for you as the installer, the distributor, and the end customer. First and foremost is the Shine Server and ShinePhone portals. These are the end customer portals tailored for quick, real-time monitoring and device data at a glance. The Shine Server is the browser-based monitoring platform available to anyone with an internet connection, an inverter, and a PC or Mac, anything that has internet connectivity, of course. Next is the ShinePhone app, available on iOS and the Google Play Store. This application allows the end customer to modify their inverter settings, gather detailed site information, inverter performance, and give detailed analysis of system performance, all at the customer's fingertips. The OSS portal is next. It is a service and management platform. This allows distributors and installers to have a complete monitoring of the different Growatt products, that they have installed. With this tool, you can visualize any possible failure the inverters may get, and also offers different tool that allows the user to modify the performance of the inverter remotely. Visualize the production of energy of each plant and even more. OSS is a powerful tool giving all organizations information on historical performance, error codes, and PV generation performance for all of the sites in which have been installed and sold. OSS organizes the end customers, their sites, and the plants that are associated with them to efficiently diagnose issues and understand the system settings without even needing to be at the inverter. Lastly, we have the ShineTools application. This is our local commissioning app for modifying inverter settings, connecting to the internet, setting grid profiles and energy management modes, and from there, even much more. These are the 4 monitoring platforms that are used to completely monitor and commission the inverter to have a fully functional system. Excellent. Just to discuss a little bit more about the inverter, we've probably already seen the presentation that I gave recently, but I want to make sure that we understand the inverter that we're talking with. This is the MIN-TL-XH US hybrid inverter with flexible power class options ranging from 3.8 kilowatts to 11.4 kilowatts. There's 2 different footprints here. The 7.6 is and below is a little bit lighter of a model, and then the 11.4 is providing a little bit more power for the user and a little bit bigger of a package. It has an OLED indicator, built-in monitoring features, which we are discussing today, and an easy 15-minute installation. With a NEMA 4X rating, it is dustproof, waterproof, and resistant to corrosion. Features a 10-year standard product warranty with the option to extend past this. We offer whole home backup with the SYN solution, support module level shutdown and AFCI requirements, and pack up to 4 maximum power point trackers depending on the solution. With the Growatt solution, the whole system is guaranteed. The warranty for the inverter, the lithium-ion battery, and the Growatt accessories are all guaranteed with technical support and guidance for the system, professional and local service departments, and 1 monitoring platform for all of the devices based on this user level. So let's go over the OSS demo. We're going to walk through a little bit about what OSS is and how we can utilize this for your customer and how we can manage our platforms. So firstly, I think we're all wondering what OSS stands for, and that is the Growatt Online Smart Service. It is the monitoring platform for O&M management, settings, system configuration changes, and end user management. This tool is free for any installer to create an account and visualize the performance of any of their commissioned systems immediately with absolutely no wait. The OSS platform has 2 user account levels as an installer or a distributor. So Franken Solar will be the distributor. I believe the way that they will handle this is they will have the installer, Franken Solar will create the installer accounts. And now we kind of describe a little bit about what that means. So we're starting from the bottom. We have the end user. They hold the inverter that is their system. And then the installer has an OSS account above the end user where they can see all of the plants and the sites in which they are managing. And then finally, at the distributor level, at the distribution level, we have the distribution able to see all of the sites in which the installers have created and installed. So it's a pretty simple platform. The diagram on the right is kind of just a tree of how the OSS accounts and each account correlates with each other. With the Growatt OSS, we're able to streamline the O&M management effortlessly and save some time and costs along the way. What's most important about charts like these is everyone will have a separate account number. This is something that they use to log into the platform. The installers will have their own level of account. Distributors will have their own level. And then with OSS, the end users will not have access to OSS. They will have access to the Shine tools and the Shine phone portals. Those are the end user applications.
Hey Zach, why would you want or like why would you want to make sure that the homeowner doesn't have access to the OSS? Like what's the reason behind that?
Yeah, so OSS is not it's not really tailored for the end user. The end user, we want them to see all of the sites in which they own, but we want the installer to see all of the sites which have been installed. The ShinePhone and the Shine Server applications are there, so the end user has a more convenient means of managing their platform. OSS can be a little bit more powerful. It's a much more powerful platform, and it doesn't. The end users don't really need to see all of the inner workings behind systems that have been installed.
Yeah, makes sense.
Excellent. So we'll start out with the registration process. It's really simple. The first part is to navigate to ossus.growatt.com, click on the registration button, and register as either an installer or a distributor. The distributor needed a Growatt order number. That is going to be Franken Solar. They will have access to the distribution portion. And then you as installers will contact Franken Solar, grab an installer number. They will grant you access to be underneath their account. And now the installer is going to receive an installer code once they are finished. This is a little bit about the page. When we're registering for the site, again, we'll pick either a distributor or installer account. And then remember to write down the account number which has been granted to you once it is created. Very important. We want to make sure that we always have the account number on hand in the case that we forget to save it somewhere or we didn't click on a certain option to always log in. So it's important to have your account number as well as your password. Once we're in the registration process, the only things that we really need, and Franken Solar will need from you, is the country that you're installing in, one inverter serial number, one company name, your company address, and optional is the company website. So now that the account has been created and registered, you are automatically logged in and will see a screen similar to this, albeit with no plants or no devices appearing as of yet. So on the left side here, we're kind of able to see the different menu options that are available. The most important here is going to be under the monitor section in the plant list, device list, end user, and then some device upgrade screen as well. So the plant list is going to give you an organized view of the active plants, which are producing, not producing, offline. It's going to show you everything which has been installed under your account. It's also going to show you generation and amortization calculating as well. So we'll go into that. Device list is important. We'll be able to see all of the applicable devices which are connected to sites on your account. We're able to add devices to the created plants, and then see some diagnostics and install count for the plants as well. The end user is where we are going to create the end user portal access. So we are able to directly give the end user access to monitor their system without having to worry about the end user going in and doing something wrong. In the sense, I've seen this quite a bit from other manufacturers where we have to have the end user set up some of their account. With this, you can do it remotely. You don't need to be at the site. Before you go install the inverter, you can go ahead and even grant those permissions right away. Lastly is the device upgrade screen. We're able to remotely update the inverter's firmware and stay up to date with the latest software/firmware. Next, so we're going to delve into the end user portion because this is something that I really do appreciate. So we're able to create those end user accounts, as I said. We're going to start out in the monitoring section, end user, and then the new user tab will appear at the top of the screen. Once we click this, we'll be able to select an installer who completed the work. So you will have your own installer number. This will be automatically populated. So once the distribution team sees the installation has been completed, they'll be able to see that account. They'll be able to see that installer has finished this job. And now we can all see from the distribution level and the installation level exactly how the system is performing from here. For new users, when we select the new user page, we're going to set their account number. This will be our account name, I should say. So this will be like a general username for the account. Zachary Kieran is perfect, just something simple for the end user. We'll set the end user's password, confirm that password, and set the company name if applicable. This is mostly used for the C&I space. The email is important. We want to make sure we get the right email address for from the customer, phone number as well. And then your installer code, again, it's going to automatically populate here. So when you're going in and doing this work, once you have the OSS account registered, the installer code will automatically populate. Next, we're going to add the PV plant. So we've created the end user portal. So now the customer has access to see the site. There won't be a site available as of yet. We can do this before we even complete the install work. Next, once the install has been done, we can create a plant here in this page. So we'll start out with add a plant underneath the plant list. And then once we click on add the plant, we'll be able to grab the plant's name. We'll assign a name to the plant and then an alias for it. It could be the same. I would prefer it to just be the same, Zach as is. And then the installation date, very important. We want to make sure we put the right installation date in there, start tracking the warranty a little bit simpler. PV capacity, how big is the array? The installer will be automatically populated based on you as the installer completing the work. The plant type, again, these are residential systems for now. So we will have the residential plant, we'll select that. And then the assigned user, again, is automatically populated. Then from there, we can go into some geographic information. We can enter in where the plant is located, help you visualize exactly where the plant is so you can keep track of all of the necessary information regarding this plant. Lastly, we'll add our the revenue, so the tariff rates, of course in USD or Canadian, the standard savings in CO2 emission and coal, and then lastly is the another CO2 emissions, sulfur emissions right here as well. So this way we can keep track of exactly how the system is performing, what the eco impact of the system is, things of that nature. It's very common in most monitoring platforms to see all of this.
Zach, we have a quick question here from Leo. He's asking about what counts as the installation date. Is it the date the inverter was commissioned or turned on? And I guess it's referring to warranties as well. When does the warranty start with Growatt?
Sure. Yes. The most important thing is the warranty should start at the date of interconnection. The very first time the system is turned on and starts to produce power and feed to the grid, this is when the inverter warranty will start. The date of interconnection is something that I would put here.
Okay. But whatever is put here doesn't necessarily reflect to when your warranty starts, right? This is more for internal use. And if there is a warranty case, Growatt would actually check the date in the inverter itself, right?
Yes. And this is the most important feature, of course. The interconnection date should be placed here. We'll keep track for you of the interconnection dates. And this way, when later on down the road, 10 years goes down from now, we can say, hey, I have an inverter. Something has an issue with it. Is it still under warranty? If you were to place your interconnection date here, we'd be able to update the warranty information of the inverter, speaking proactively, of course, 10 years from now. This is something I've seen with other manufacturers where we didn't have this type of feature, and there was always a gray area around interconnection and warranty times. So very important, put the installation date as the interconnection time, and then we'll be able to update it later on down the road.
Perfect.
Excellent. Once all of this is completed, the plant will now be available to see from the end customer's portal. However, we have not actually assigned a device to the plant. All we have done in that case was create the plant. It's an empty plant. Now we need to assign the device to it. And this can be done in multiple sections. So here we will go to the device list. Oh, I thought I had a pop-up for that. We have a device list and then add device. We want to add the device to the plant in which we are creating. So the assigned user automatically populates. We'll be able now to input the plant that we have just created. For me, it would have been Zach. The data logger serial number. This is going to be the serial number of the inverter. And the check code is available as well as on the inverter. It's not needed for the MIN system. This is something that was used overseas. So just a data logger serial number is enough to create these plants. Now the device will be fully connected to the system. Once we have gone through this device adding page, we will now be able to see the device list appear, and this is the general overview of the plant. So we have the plant name. This is a Norwegian plant, and then the device list is now appearing here. So now you'll have full monitoring capabilities, and really what this means is that we'll go into that a little bit, but we also have some settings here. We can see the warranty card of the inverter. We can see the settings of the inverter here as well. We can delete the plant, and we can make changes to the plant through this portal. The O&M capabilities, of course, is one of the most important features. So we're able to track the performance of voltage, current, power of the array with the inverter. So we can actually do comparisons for multiple inverters on a site. If there's 3-4 inverters on one particular site, maybe for a ground mount system, it's important that we can basically do a simple comparison to find out exactly how each inverter is performing against one another. So this can be done within the OSS app or the OSS platform. Very important. We'll be able to recognize any issues with the array, any issues with the MPPT power as well. So this particular site had 3 arrays plugged into 3 MPPTs of the inverter. And we can track exactly each one of those arrays was the exact same, so we can track the performance capabilities. If there was a deviation, we can figure out if something is wrong from here. Great. And also the power capabilities and output of the inverter. I didn't pick the greatest day. I probably should have picked something with more of a bell curve, but we can see a little bit more about the array's power output. Lastly, we have the ability to see the performance data. So we go into the device list, and so the page that I showed you previously is it'll automatically log in once you set up the device. Once you back out of the screen, we need to learn how to go back to and find the production data and things of that nature. And it's very easy. Go to your device list, find your device. Again, I would set more of a readable alias for the device. You can go ahead and click that device to see all of the device information. Really important, set the device. I can't stress this enough. You do not have to be at the inverter to select most parameters of the device itself. If you made a mistake in the settings of the inverter, if we made a mistake that we need to go back, change the EMS mode, maybe something updates with the utility at a later time, we can do everything remotely via set device. What I really like is the EMS mode. So of course we can set all of this. We can set the grid parameters, very important. The inverter itself has something called a pre-PTO mode, and this allows the inverter to be installed, commissioned, but not operational. So this will be done before you have your interconnection approval. You can install your inverter, you can install the system, and then once the interconnection approval has been received, Now we can go into this device setting and turn off the pre-PTO mode. It's a really powerful feature. It allows multiple jobs to get done in a single day and provides really great support for the customers. PTO has been granted. Go into this setting, switch off the pre-PTO mode. Again, I was utilizing an inverter that's not available in the US, so it doesn't have that function shown here, but there's multiple different functions that we can see that we can change. Again, we can set inverters on and off. We can set the power factor, really providing a lot of flexibility. Lastly, warranty claims and some child accounts. I call them child accounts, but the installer accounts. The distributors can submit detailed warranty claims. Very important. So you as the installer have the ability to submit the warranty claim through the distribution. The distribution has the ability then to submit that straight to us, and we can get that inverter replaced for you in the most timely manner. Most companies are going to have you call in, go through a really, really convoluted RMA request form. Ours is a little bit more simple. We only need some pictures of the array, maybe if possible, a single line diagram. You have the ability to add as much information as you need. And this is going to help our team later on in the future. So we can actually begin warranty applications here. Add a warranty application within the service hall menu. Warranty claim, add a warranty application. This is going to start your process. We can go forward with that from there. The last thing that I'd like to mention, and this is mostly for Franken Solar from what I understand, we can set users for the device. So Franken Solar can have multiple different users underneath the new employee tab. So organization, user management, and basically what we are setting here is the ability for multiple people from Franken Solar to view systems. It's as simple as that. And that's just set up in the new employee tab. Okay, that was a little bit about OSS. You have the ability to kind of demo OSS today. Just go through the registration process. You can go through the registration process with Franken Solar if you'd wish. You can create a dummy account right now, go and register for OSS. Take a look through the different functions. There's quite a lot to it, a little bit more than what I've demonstrated here. There's even smart energy management modes where you can kind of see and visualize on a map how everything is looking. There's a lot of functionality to it. I do highly recommend to take a look at it. So OSS gives you that power to manage your fleet of those inverters. We need to now see what the options are for the end customers. How can they monitor their systems? So we will start with the Shine server. I have a little bit of a live demo for you here. This is available actually on the Shine server website. So if I actually exit, this will be the login page, server-us.growatt.com. So here I have the server-us.growatt.com. This is going to be all of our, the server-based application for the computer. This is going to allow the customers to see their site. So we'll go through the demo account a little bit. So this particular version has quite a few sites installed for the end user. There are multiple sites against this end user. Just gives us a little bit more flexibility. But in reality, the residential end user will only have maybe one site, maybe two. So we can see here, this is the main platform. This is the main portal here. So we're looking at the particular device for this particular site. We can see the solar curve as well. We can see the information based on day, based on month, even based on year, right? We have statistics based on today, the total generation, the total amortization of the system as well, if we input the tariffs correctly. And then how much money has been produced today. And this could be based on the tariffs, based on the NEM rates of the device, or of the utility. There's a lot of functionality there. We can see each device individually. So this is an east-west array with 2 inverters on the site. we can see how each device is performing. Oh, this is a demo account. So yeah, in the original account, in your original account and the customer's original account, you'll be able to double click on this and it'll bring up a more detailed view of the single device shown up here. The first thing that you see is both of the devices working in tandem, but we can double click and have that show as single devices working in tandem as well. We have the CO2 reduction, the reduction in trees, and the total coal savings for the device. So this is a basic overview.
They're not removing trees, right?
Right, right. I noticed that as soon as I said it, right?
The opposite.
The reduction
the
in
equivalent.
deforestation.
Exactly. The equivalent for CO2 reduction that that many trees would do.
Of course. And I noticed it as soon as I said it. I was like, yep, that's not going to go well. So yes, there's multiple different settings. Again, this is just a demo of the account, but here we also have the ability to set the device. There will be some options above here, and the end user does not have to have the local commissioning app to actually set the EMS modes, start the generator of an SYN device. There's multiple different modes that are going to be up here outside of the demo account. So this is just the demo account. Again, I don't have access right now. It would take me it would probably take me a couple minutes to actually get into it. So,
Zach,
yeah.
just for clarification, the homeowner will have access to the Shine server, right? Not the OSS. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. So this is the Shine server. This is what the end user, this is what the homeowner is seeing. There will probably be one site, and then they will be able to go in and view it via their computer.
Yeah.
Great. So that's a little bit about the Shine server.
Zach, do you have anything on, and I don't know if you're getting into it still, but the battery programming and how that would work?
Yes, I do have some slides at the end of this presentation that will go through the EMS modes. So that was Shine server. We'll go into a little bit about ShinePhone as well, just a few slides. Again, these end user portals, they're meant to be very flexible. They're meant to be very efficient for an end user, somebody who doesn't have so much understanding of their system. So again, this is just a quick overview of the UI. It's very simple. We have the ability to view the system on a daily basis, see the charging, discharge capacity of their battery, and see a little bit more information about the plant in which they have commissioned and have commissioned. So this is the dashboard overview. We're able to see the online status of our inverters. We're able to see the online status of the production, the consumption data, and see the environmental impacts much the same way. So there's also the ability to here to show exactly the load consumption, the self-consumption of the system from the battery as well. So we're really trying to pack a lot of information in, but not so much as to overwhelm a customer who doesn't understand their system. If we were to go down into the plant page, we can see all of the plants which are underneath the end user's device or underneath the end user's account. And this particular end user has quite a few, but we'll go kind of through just a single one. I believe it's Grow Home. Yeah. So this will be what they see from their side. They'll click on their plant page, and now they can see exactly how the plant is performing. And what I like is the graphics here. So this is an animation which will show you exactly how the SOC of the battery is discharging, how we are exporting or importing from the grid, and where our energy is going. So we're really able to get a good visualization of the flow of energy in the system. And this is something that the ShinePhone app does really well, and that's able to show the user exactly how the energy is flowing. We can see the actual status of the inverter. So this is working on grid. We can see the EMS mode. So this is set to support the load first in the most self-consuming way. And then we can even click and scroll through some of the devices here if there's multiple on site. So we can see an overview of the plant UI. This is, this is the same page that we were looking at, but you can scroll down and see some more information as well, such as the PV power, the discharging capacity. All of these can be checked, and then you can only see the information that you want. And this is the most important. You can click on each one of these, deselect it, and really see what you want to see, what the customer wants to see. This can be done by state of charge and the charge and discharge power over the day, month, and year. So we also have the ability to add extra plans through ShinePhone. Personally, I wouldn't recommend utilizing this option, but we do give you this option. So an end customer, maybe it's a DIYer, maybe it's somebody who wants to add or expand to their system at a later time. They also have the ability to add plants through ShinePhone, and this can be done through the Add Plant page. Oh, go back. Yes, this can be done through the Add Plant page. We can. It's all the same information which we were inputting before: installation date, plant name, location, power capacity. And we can also add the device then. So we created that plant. Now we can add a device. And much the same way, only this time, we can actually just scan the serial number on the back of the inverter and add the plant that way. There's a more easy way to do this. More easy, not really what I wanted to say, but there's an easier way to do this, of course. OSS also has this option. But there's also the Shine Tools app, which has this option as well. And we're going to demonstrate this next. So this is just a rundown of the ShinePhone app. Again, it's really simple. It's easy for an end customer to use. That's the whole point.
Zach, when it switches from like the battery being offline or in standby mode to it being used for the home consumption, is there some sort of notification that's being sent to through the Shine app or anything like that, or like how do you know? Even do you notice in any way?
No, so the way I understand, no, there's no notification that's been sent. So if the installer or the distributor changes something on their site, there would be no notification that got sent. So that's really all I have about that. There's multiple different ways to set up notifications, but I don't have those answers. Any kind of information that you need further from that, I can provide at a later time, and we can look into that a little bit more. But as far as I understand, there is no notifications for settings changes, battery changing statuses, off-grid, on-grid mode. I believe there actually is one for the SYN when it switches off to off grid, but we'll explore that. I'll have to explore that a little bit further.
Okay, yeah, and obviously if the SYN switches, then if you get a notification, then you'd be on off grid or on grid. I guess that would be the notification that's being sent.
Yeah, essentially, the plan would be for them to have it say, "Hey, the device is switched because the grid has gone down." Something as simple as that.
Okay, cool.
Perfect. Lastly, I'll discuss the Shine Tools. So this is the Shine Tools application. Just a quick introduction about this. It's the local commissioning application. So this is available to access the inverter settings, the advanced inverter settings with an OSS account, real-time data, operating parameters, internet connectivity, energy management mode, and inverter updates. The Shine Tools app is directly connected with the OSS app. This is why I also have on here the OSS overview, so I won't forget to say this. The OSS app, the Shine Tools app, are basically merged as they work together. They handle everything together, and this is going to be important, and I'll show you in a second why. But the Shine Tools app is available on the Google Play and the App Store. I personally do like working with this app. It does work quite well. There's a lot to it, and it's going to be even beyond the scope of this webinar. But I'm going to show you some of the basic functions, EMS mode, most important things. So the end user and the OSS user can utilize ShineTools, albeit with a little bit of a reduction in availability of the settings for the end user. So we'll be able to begin by logging into the OSS account. So when we click O&M user, it'll bring up the account name, and it'll bring up the enter password. So you'll be able to enter your OSS credentials there and begin to commission the inverter from here. Direct Wi-Fi is for the MIN device. So we'll get into that. But the end users can also get into ShineTools. They will need the OSS. So it'll just say OSS is the password and then the date in which they're entering the system. You, as the installer, have the ability to allow the end user into their system this way. We do not really want the end user utilizing ShineTools as much. So this is why we gave the installer the ability to grant access to use this. Again, this is not for the end customer, but we do allow them to log in with a little bit more of a convoluted password. So the first step, once we actually logged in, it will say direct Wi-Fi. These are some other options. They're not available in your market. Direct Wi-Fi, the MINTL-XHUS is the most important. And we can also see the installation manual for this device here. So we can go into the installation manual in case you don't have it handy. Next, it'll ask you for this screen. The go to set option is the most important. We can set the Wi-Fi password, or I'm sorry, we can set the Wi-Fi. So this is going to be the inverter's Wi-Fi access point. This is the serial number of the inverter. So what's important is when we log on to this particular network, we are logging on to the inverter's network. It is sending out a Wi-Fi signal, and we are logging in with this. Once we connect to the inverter, such as in this way, next we will just click the next option, and we will be able to go from there. Again, the SSID is the serial number of the inverter. If there's multiple inverters on site, we want to make sure that we just grab the proper serial number. So again, there's another way to create a site. This is my personal favorite way to do so, actually. The quick site setup is available here in the ShineTools app. If we click on the 3 tabs at the top, we'll be able to go into the quick site setup screen. You must be logged in with your OSS account to do this, but this is one of the easiest way to create a site. So once we click that, we will add our account. So this is the end users portal. So we're creating the end users portal here, just the same way as we did with the OSS platform. We're going to set the plant name, the plant installation date, all of much the same information. And again, we're going to add the data logger much the same way. And this can be done once you click add data logger. There's options to just scan the serial number barcode. This is the easiest way to set up a site. This is my favorite way. The OSS app can do it. The ShinePhone can do it. My personal recommendation, have your OSS account logged into ShineTools. Begin your site setup this way.
Zach, does the Shine tool work remotely, or do you have to be on site?
You do have to be on site. So this is logging onto the inverter's Wi-Fi, and the inverter's Wi-Fi is about 20 feet, maybe 10, 20 feet. So you'll have to be at the inverter to utilize the ShineTools in its entirety.
Okay, thank you.
Again, devices can be added utilizing ShineTools. So now that we have actually logged in and everything is set up, this will be the very first screen you see. At the top, you'll see the production data, whether the inverter is in any kind of standby mode, what kind of mode the inverter's in. But the most important part is the inverter won't be operational at this point. We need to go into the quick setting and utilize the network type. So quick setting, this will be the next page you see. And then network type will begin the configuration for the available network. And this is going to be either Wi-Fi or LAN. The 4G model will not be available in our market, but the Wi-Fi and the LAN, most important. So we can connect the inverter based on the name of the router and the router password. There's a drop-down menu, very simple to actually connect the inverter. One thing that I really want to note, the server-us.growatt.com is a must. We must have this server address set. This will be done by default. I have never seen it not be done by default in the US as of yet. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, but it is very important. Otherwise, we're not communicating with the proper server and we will not see our device data. So very important. It should by default automatically say this, but just take a look. After everything has been set, it'll let you know the configuration was successful and we can move on. The inverter is now communicating with the internet of the customer via LAN or Wi-Fi. If you were to select the LAN option, this is a hardwires directly to the inverter. There's no need to enter the router name or any of this information. We're just going to connect to the network. Perfect. More about the quick setting menu. So this is inside of the quick setting menu. Beyond just setting the network type, we're also able to set the power sensor as an electric meter. This is very much so necessary if you have a Growatt smart meter or an SYN microgrid device. The battery type will be an APX battery. There's multiple other options, but right now the APX battery is going to be the type that we select. The grid code, IEEE 1547, or whatever grid code is applicable for your area. Not too familiar with the Canadian market. These are some of the options that you have to work with. That's a scrollable menu. There's multiple more, but IEEE 1547 is primarily the grid code that I believe will be used. Voltage level, this can be set as a 240 or a 208 volt device. So we can have 3 MIN inverters on 3 phases of a 208 grid type. Then the EMS mode, battery first. This can be set to battery first, load first. We'll get into that. Most important, again, the pre-PTO mode, we can set this on so we don't actually start inverting any power and pushing to the grid yet. And then later on, when the interconnection approval has been granted, now we can deactivate that and begin the operation. Battery diagnostics is there to set the battery status. And then every other piece of information on here is not needed. The output mode will always be split phase and time will always be set properly. So energy management system is the next mode. So back into the main screen, we have the energy management system mode. This will be the next mode that we look into. We have the time of use setting, the enable the AC charge of the battery, the charge power percentage, the battery's charge stop percentage, discharge power ratio, etc. So we're able to set those priority battery settings as load first, battery first, grid first, solar only backup. So this is very important if you have a battery system. If we installed an ESS system, we can set exactly how these modes are working. Load first, primarily power the load first, charge the battery with what is remaining, and then anything after that send to the grid. Battery first, I mean, these are very explainable. The battery first is obviously charge the battery with the amount of power that we have first and foremost, then send the rest to the load, and then send the rest to the grid. Then battery grid first mode, again, they're very explainable. It's just grid goes first, then charge the battery with what is, or provide the load what is next, and then charge the battery with what is remaining. And then solar only backup. This is when we want to utilize our battery as only a backup available battery. This battery will never charge or discharge until the grid goes down. So this is when we want to have those batteries on reserve. And this is all settable here in the EMS menu. And then there's multiple other ways to change exactly how the battery is working. Time of use setting, very important. In your market, the time of use setting is important, but I want to reiterate that we have to disable the battery mode setting first. This is something that I actually did run into an issue with. We have to go into battery mode setting, disable, then go into the time of use setting, and then program individually how we want the battery and the inverter to work together based on time of use. I hope that was clear. These are just the battery mode settings of the inverter. This is just a few of them. These are the most important, and we can go from there, giving you plenty of flexibility. We'll go into the time of use setting. Pretty important for any market, but time of use, we can select this by annual, either by quarter or by a special day. The quarter setting is primarily what I've used. Quarter one, we can set the month. So maybe quarter one is month 1 through 3, and then so on and so forth. We can choose to enable or disable the settings that we create, and then select the times in which the time of use and the energy management system is utilized. So there's a total of up to 9 programmable settings here. If you count in the quarters, the special days, and then this can all be set by weekend and by weekday as well.
Zach, the battery mode settings, are those accessible by the installer and the homeowner, or just the installer?
Yeah, so primarily they're accessible by both. The installer, this is the original commissioning, so the installer can set this during the original commissioning. Then later on, the customer can go into their ShinePhone or the Shine Server app and change that. Again, we don't want the customer to go into this particular program too much. They can make these changes via Shine Server and ShinePhone.
Thank you.
And you as the installer can do so via OSS. Last thing I want to mention is just the information that you can collect from these devices. This is where we go into device information. The PV voltage power, we can see all of the real-time information from the inverter, the backup mode of the inverter, the off-grid parameters, the system messages and battery settings. So we can see the firmware version, the serial number, etc. But in this mode as well, we can start to begin to perform inverter software updates. This is very simple. We'll just go down to the bottom of this page. There'll just be a point that says upgrade firmware or upgrade software, something along those lines. And then we'll just click that. It will show you the target. It will show you the current software, and it's just as simple as clicking the update software button. The software update takes about 5-10 minutes. I wouldn't don't play around with any other settings while this software is updating. Don't turn the inverter off or do anything crazy like that. Just let it be. We can do more work on site and then come back to the inverter. Software will be updated. Excellent. So in conclusion, I just want to bring up, there's also some other ways of communicating with this device. The Shine tools, I guess I can't say that. The Shine tools, the ShinePhone, and the Shine Server, and the OSS. Those are the ways to communicate with the device. However, we also have custom API platforms. We have customer Modbus hosts, which allow the device to communicate with a separate computer or a separate Modbus host. We have the ability to meet 2030.5, the CSIP operations. So again, DER, demand response. So when the grid sends over a message to the inverter, primarily in like Hawaii, New England. I'm not too sure about the Canadian market, how much this is used, but the DER settings are available. We can communicate with the grid. The grid can send commands to the inverter, change power factor, those kind of functions. And we can push and pull data at the same time. So the customer monitoring platforms will receive the data at the same time as the Growatt monitoring platform. And what that means is essentially the API is able to communicate at the same time as the monitoring platform, Shine Tools, ShinePhone, Shine Server. Great. I have this slide up just to kind of refresh what everything is. You go ahead and take a picture of this page. I'm sure this is going to be online again. So if you can just go ahead and take a picture of this page, you'll kind of have an understanding of all 4 of these apps and really how all 4 of these apps play together. So how do you get started today? Well, you procure a Growatt inverter from Franken Solar exclusively. register for an installer OSS account, create your customer plants, create the customer end portals, install, commission the inverter, and then add the inverter data logger to the plant after this. That is the total steps to getting started today. Real simple. Let me know how everything goes on your end. I'd be really interested to hear from you as well. I really do appreciate your time today. I have a little bit of time for some questions, and hopefully I can get some answers done as well.
Yeah, we answered a bunch of questions on the go that came up. I don't know if anyone else has some questions, please write them in the chat. In the meantime, thank you again, Zach. I think this was super informative. All four of these presentations were amazing. I very much look forward to meeting you in a couple of weeks in person, and meeting the rest of the Growatt team as well.
Yes.
Also, I guess is a good point to, if you can't make it, for people attending, if you can't make it to RE Plus, we will have Zach. I think you're coming up to ETC in I guess that's October, in Calgary. So you can meet him there, meet myself there, the rest of the Franken Solar team. We'll have a full system set up there that people can look and touch. Also, if you're in the Toronto area, if you want to see one of these systems live, we do have a test system in our warehouse that is up and running, and we're doing all kinds of testing on and have loads on and with the battery backup. So feel free to pop by, come over for a coffee. And yeah, so I think looks like Steve has a question here. How to export kilowatt data to Excel via CSV. Is that a possibility?
Yes, that is a possibility. That will be either you can. That's in the OSS monitoring portal, right? So when you go into OSS, when you go into the device, I can go back, but I'll wait for now. So we can go into the device data, and we can export all of its production, voltage calculations, current calculations, anything that you really need to see. That can be all exported to a CV file or Excel.
Perfect. And are the Shine tools and ShinePhone apps available for both Android and iPhone?
Yes, they are, and they actually just recently came out with some updates. So I'd be interested to see how everything is going on your end. The updates have been pretty nice from what I have seen. So yeah, newly updated software available on Google Play and iOS.
Yeah, and but if you have a Nokia 3210, then you're out of luck.
Yes. I don't know if you're out of luck though. Those things last forever.
Yeah, there may still be some in circulation.
Yeah.
Cool. If there's no other questions, thank you very much again for attending. These webinars will be on our YouTube channel. I think they're also in our podcast channel. I think, Hazine, is that something you uploaded yet?
Yes. So for everybody who doesn't know, we have a podcast now. So if you are on site, if you are, wanting to maybe have some education, maybe instead of listening to the radio while you're driving or something, feel free to tune in. We are on YouTube Music at the moment. We are going to be expanding to Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well shortly. All these webinars will be available in podcast form for your convenience. They will also be available in video form on YouTube. So whichever is more convenient for you guys, feel free to check them out that way.
Perfect. Thank you, Hazine. So yeah, and if anyone wants to get a hold of us, reach out to your Franken Solar account rep. If you don't have an account representative yet, you can send us an email to sales@frankensolar.ca or call our office. That would be another option. Just trying to find the office number. Full office number is 289-949-5356. So yeah, thanks again, everyone, and Zach, see you next week.
Next week.
Okay.
See ya.